Good morning from the city of Salisbury in southern England, the county of Wiltshire. Here today, staying in this lovely neighborhood at a beautiful Airbnb, and today's a special day. Why? Because we're going to see one of the most prestigious World Heritage Sites in England, and something that has inspired archaeologists and historians to dive in and produce numerous theories. We're going to Stonehenge, and Salisbury is about 9 miles south of Stonehenge. It's a cathedral city. It's home to the famous Salisbury Cathedral, a church that was built in the 1200s, I believe. It has one of the oldest running clocks in the world, if not the oldest. So it's a historic city, population about 40,000. It's a city essentially because it has the cathedral. And yeah, lovely place. Got here yesterday and really excited today. I've been trying to do as much Stonehenge research as I can to prepare myself to see this historic site. These rocks from 3000 BC that were carried hundreds of miles somehow from Scotland and Wales. Actually Scotland, they just discovered recently a rock is there, and it originated in the area of Scotland, but mostly through Wales and different parts of England. Join me today for another exciting experience. Going back in time, we had the Roman baths 2 days ago. Today, Stonehenge. So we're headed downtown right now to catch the Stonehenge bus, take us there. So yeah, come along for the journey. Let's go. One thing about Salisbury that really confused me when I arrived yesterday was the center to get to the areas where a lot of people live outside of the downtown market area, which the city is also famous for. They have a lot of markets in the downtown area, a street where you could just walk in the middle of the road and go to different local shops and everything. But when you come through into Salisbury, and if you're staying at an Airbnb or an inn that's somewhere down in this area, you have to cross through these tunnels to get to the other side. And when I first got here, I was looking at maps and it was saying to go straight, and I was like, how do I go straight? There's a roundabout, I have to go through traffic. But yeah, you just go through the tunnels. Also, a lot of construction that's being done while I'm here right now. I think it has to do with the train station, so some roads are blocked off heading into the downtown area. It's a very easy community to get around though. I mean, I went to the Tesco Express, obviously have to get a meal deal last night, and I got there and then made it all the way back. No maps, baby. Really discovering on this trip that my navigational skills without technology are better than I'm giving them credit for. This is the construction. So getting tickets to Stonehenge is quite a simple process. You go down to the information center right there on the main market street here, and you just basically get a pass. They give you this receipt. The worker there just kind of stapled it on the information booklet. You go to a regular bus stop, you go to the one labeled U. They have a big Stonehenge sign on the outside of it. You show the bus driver the receipt, and apparently he just stamps it, and then you use that when you get to the actual exhibition area, and they stamp it again, and then you look at it. You go through this museum, and they give you a headset apparently when you get on the bus. So that's all you have to do. Go to the visitor center, get this, £38, 50 pence. And so Canadian, that came to probably around $70. There's also a package that includes the cathedral as well. I didn't choose to opt in and have that be a part of the package. If I do have time later today to go check out the cathedral, I'll just pay the extra £10 or whatever the cost is to go into the cathedral. But for now, Stonehenge, pretty straightforward. About a 20-minute walk from where my Airbnb is. You come right downtown. That bus stop is where you jump on. At this time, it's about 9:30, I think, 9:39. So bus leaves at 12 after every hour. First one of the day leaves at 12 after 10. I read online the best time to visit Stonehenge is either early in the morning or afternoon after 2 p.m. because most of the tourists traveling from other parts of England usually arrive in that 11 to 12-ish period. This was the earliest one of the day for me to go and jump on, so I would have preferred to go a little bit earlier, honestly. Weather's cooperating so far. It's supposed to rain later this afternoon, so hopefully skies stay clear while I'm out there. Waiting for the bus. Quick savings hack when you're in the UK. If you're looking to get a coffee and not pay an exorbitant amount of money, go to the Pret-a-Manger. They have coffees for 99 pence, which converts to like 180 Canadian dollars. So it's actually a little bit less than what I would normally pay for a coffee in Canada. So that's a bit of a savings hack here in England. You go to Pret-a-Manger, 99 pence coffee once a day, boom, taken care of. The only con to the place is they actually charge you to dine in. So I don't know if that's common over here at a lot of places where you pay like £1 extra to actually sit inside the establishment and eat. That's the downside, but just don't eat in. How you doing, sir?
Thank you.
Just the ticket there.
Excellent.
And to get from Stonehenge to Old Sarum, there's a bus, I imagine, that you just jump on and...
Yeah, so it's on the return journey that you go to Old Sarum.
Okay.
Alright, so this is now your ticket, so don't lose it because it's
important
for everything.
Yeah.
That's the ticket.
Perfect. Thanks, man. Ticket secured. Let's get to the back of the bus. Always the best seats in the back of the bus. So they give you headphones here that you can put in. That, I believe, there's a narration as you're driving up to Stonehenge. And they give you another ticket that you use upon arrival, and this is also the ticket for your return journey to Old Sarum and back into Salisbury. I'm about to be like that guy because plug it in right here and they give you that introduction on the bus. We're getting plugged in. There's nobody on this bus. So I just learned that that tricky roundabout was actually formerly a public execution site, where 71 people had been killed for their crimes in the 1800s. Britain. So out my window here, in the distance, you can see a bit of Old Sarum, which has evidence of human inhabitation as early as 3000 BC, and officially became a town in the 13th century. Fun fact, Salisbury was never bombed during the Second World War, and opposing countries, when they arrived here, they were under strict orders not to bomb the cathedral because it was used as a checkpoint. So once they located the cathedral, they would have a sense of where they were and they could continue forward. So this whole community was pretty exempt from direct destruction during the Second World War. So excavations have discovered that at least 150 people, men, women, and children, are actually buried around the ditch outside of where the stones are in Stonehenge. And some of these excavations have determined that these individuals buried there obviously must have been very important people to be buried at such a prestigious spiritual site, but also that they date back to as far as 2000 and 3000 BC, with some of the ox and other animals that are found there, that were found there buried, could date back even further, like beyond 5000 BC. So it does, you know, you can't overstate how historically integral this particular location was for thousands and thousands of years, for people to determine, you know, the changing of the seasons and spiritual ceremonies. You know, it just feels unreal to be heading towards a site that for thousands of years, an amount of time that you can barely wrap your head around, was still so important to so many people, and it still is to this day. Excavations and archaeologists have found evidence of the first human settlement in Aylesbury, a town nearby, right by a river, the River Avon, I believe is the correct name, and dates back about 10,000 years. So this is where you get dropped off. Definitely not the only people here. Tons of buses. Yeah, I guess I have to just go find out how I begin to walk towards Stonehenge. So there's a cafe and shop up ahead, shuttle bus. Okay, the shuttle bus that takes you, there's a sign right there. Just follow the arrows. To my pleasant surprise, the weather's actually cooperating right now. But, see that big, dark, mischievous cloud lurking, just trying to figure out a way to rain on my parade, my Stonehenge parade. The objective is to get to the site before the heavens open, if that's a realistic expectation. I'm imagining I'm going here, getting on the bus that'll take me to the stones. I was actually expecting to be able to see them from the road, because I know if you continue along this highway, you can see them from the highway. I didn't detect any stones from out the window, so which I kind of prefer. It's like, I'll see it for the first time when I'm right there in front of it, or when we're pulling up. That's how I like my exhibitions. All right, I've explored the exhibition enough. It's time to go see these things in real life. Let's go see some rocks. These are recreations of temples that reflect what historians believe the settlement that was nearby on the River Avon looked like. People lived in these temples, and then they would travel 2.7 kilometers towards the ditches, and people configured and altered the appearance of the location over the course of 3,000 years, essentially. 1,000 years. It existed more than 3,000 years ago, or 5,000 years ago. There's a lot of numbers being thrown around. Actual development of the ditches that now surround where the rock structures are began around 3000 BC, and then was altered over time and then expanded. It was the largest burial site in this area by far. People had feasts here and also buried the scraps of the ox and the animals that they would hunt and eat and celebrate the changes of seasons here. Right here. Live in these little temples and then head up to the ceremonial area. Then we have a garden and a tourist site. According to this right here, they are recreations based on the archaeological remains of buildings excavated at Durrington Walls, which is just over a mile from Stonehenge. The floors of 10 buildings were excavated here, and it's likely that there were more, and they were dated from the time where archaeologists believe the stones were first put up here at Stonehenge. So there was pottery found, animal remains from feasts that were likely held here, as this was like an unusual settlement, so probably was only special occasions that people ate over here. But this is probably where they came, they hung out, they lived while they were putting up the stones, because those timelines match up. Wonder what the internet connection was like. Welcome to this edition of Mitchell Bailey Cribs. I'm here in a 2500 BC temple. So actually going to the location site, there's two options. You could be like these folks and walk up the road. It's about a half-hour walk. It's about a mile away. Or you can take the bus, which arrives here every few minutes. Now, normally I probably would walk, because I like to get in half the amount of exercise per day, especially while I'm over here and I'm not able to go to the gym or run. Walking is kind of my supplement for that, but look at those clouds. And the worker over there suggested perhaps take the bus so you can avoid the rain. Maybe I'll walk back. That's the best view. I like to elevate. Oh. Arriving now. See it from the distance just right here. Well, I was a fool to think that we could beat the rain. Three things that are certain: death, taxes, and getting rained on when you're visiting a historical monument in the UK. That's not fair. It didn't rain when I was in Bath, but oh my God, it's coming down. Maybe it's suitable. Maybe it adds to the experience. Thankfully, this thing's waterproof. Let's just say those rocks are huge. Definitely not catching the sun between the two rocks today. Perhaps during sunrise though. I mean, it was a nice sunrise this morning. It's been excellent to be able to come here at the crack of dawn, but unfortunately it doesn't seem like the tours were being offered at that time. At least the bus wasn't available from downtown Salisbury at the time, but here we are, standing in front of rocks that are about 4,000 years old, carried from parts of England, larger ones about 20 miles away, some much further. And recently they discovered that one of these rocks here was actually brought from Scotland, and then of course a lot came from Wales as well. A place for feasts, rituals, to mark the beginning of winter and summer, and a burial site for important people, times dating back thousands of years ago, surrounding all throughout this area and beyond. To be honest, when you consider the historical significance of this place and how a million people flock here every year, and how this place has brought people from all over the world together, worked on it, just observe it, and just feel like you're being transported back in time for thousands of years, kind of overpowers the discomfort of standing here in the pouring rain right now. Well, folks, Mother Nature has made this rough. It's absolutely pouring. Advice, recommendations for the future: yeah, a rain jacket helps, but need an umbrella as well for these kind of excursions. But we're holding out. Try to take a walk down here and then catch the bus back. Maybe wait at the visitor center for a little bit longer. Check out the gift shop, see if it calms down. Maybe I can head back up here. Oh my God, I'm soaked, man. I feel like I just jumped in the ocean and went for a swim. Bro, get that bus. Oh. I can't believe I said I was gonna walk back. I'm a naive man. I went to Stonehenge and all I got was this puddle in my shoe. If you're watching this and you're dry right now, be thankful. We're here, we're trying to dry off. I know the plan was to go to Old Sarum, but this rain is going to continue until about 4 p.m. And the prospect of walking around in my shoes where both soles have just absorbed so much water that it feels like I'm walking in a puddle every time I take a step. The prospect of that is pretty unappealing right now. This whole experience, I paid about 40 pounds despite the rain. Just try to see the positive and everything. Super fulfilling to just be standing there. It's unfortunate that it's spilling out right now, and I know that there's been more walking involved with the Old Sarum tour, so I think that would just make me just more wet and uncomfortable. I don't mind a little bit of rain, but it's actually pouring right now. So eat this, and then make an executive decision, maybe head back to Salisbury, try to see if I can see the cathedral. The latest that you can get in is at 4 p.m. So it's 12:27 right now. So if I make it back into town, get on a bus, pay the admission fee, maybe even see if I can get in there for a discount because I didn't end up going to Old Sarum. Unlikely, I imagine. Get to the Airbnb, change, and then try to get to the cathedral before it closes. I actually actively made that decision while speaking to the camera. So, yeah. You see me go from debating it to confirming that's my plan in this 2-minute span here. Back on the bus. So when you're leaving Stonehenge, you just hop on the same bus that took you here. Comes on an hourly basis, I believe. And the same bus driver that took me in here this morning is the one that's driving this bus. And it takes you right back into Salisbury. Well, 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 look who's decided to join us. It's the sun. It's a few hours later. Put some of my clothes in the dryer. Not as soaked in the shoe region, but dried up here, and that's what matters the most. And we've made it down to the Salisbury Cathedral. My Airbnb host, Grace, she offered to drive me down so I could avoid the rain, and fortunately the sun also decided to come out, so probably could have made the walk anyway without the drive, but it was much appreciated because now we're here at the Salisbury Cathedral with the largest spire in all of England's churches. The little tip at the top there. Here is the Salisbury Cathedral. And Salisbury FC's next generation of players. So the tower and spire, which was completed in 1330, is 404 feet tall, making it the tallest spire in England. There was 2 other cathedrals that had a taller spire that have since been destroyed, so that therefore makes the former 3rd tallest spire here at the Salisbury Cathedral the tallest. It took 38 years to build, started 1220 and was completed by 1258 here. The original one was in Old Sarum, but they since moved everything here and built this church. So the cathedral close, which is the area surrounding the cathedral, is also the largest in all of Britain. And inside it has one of the oldest running clocks in the world. It's considered the oldest running clock since about 1300, I believe.
That already we have done it.
Some active kids. It's a piece of art called Sea View, created by an artist named Hilary Jack, and it was just put up here this year. And it is supposed to be representative of the impacts of coastal erosion, how it can affect houses and communities that are placed in areas near the sea. As you can see here, the water infiltrating the land is causing the house to be in a bad state. All right, let's go to the cathedral. Another fact about the cathedral is that inside it holds one of the 4 original surviving copies of the Magna Carta. It's just on display inside the cathedral. It's the document that inspired the United States Constitution and bring a lot of order and rights for citizens. And still some restraint on the powers of the monarchy. So it's 12 pounds to get in. Wow. Sure, yes. That would be helpful.
Just help you work your way around. You've just come in through that door.
Okay.
Okay. There's information boards dotted around and the legends for that are here. Okay, but you can go anywhere you like, in any direction. If you're interested in the Magna Carta, you go out through the south crossing.
Yep.
Okay, so it's to the right on as you're looking up the church from here. And then out through the doors, and on the left-hand side is the chapter house. The ticket that got you in,
Yep.
you'll just need to show that to get into the chapter house for the Magna Carta. Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
That's a pleasure.
I appreciate it. It's the world's oldest working mechanical clock. It was made in 1386. And it's ticked over 5 billion times. There's some messaging in the glass there to honor men and women who fought during the Second World War from here in Salisbury. There's also a message that says, "Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them," which is pretty cool. Looks like the names that are listed here on this monument are names of individuals who lost their lives during an incident that occurred on a railway here in Salisbury. And it says mourners in England, America, and Canada. So right here is St. Osmond's tomb. He was the bishop of the first Salisbury Cathedral in Old Sarum until his death in 1099. He was buried in Old Sarum, but then his tomb was moved here in 1226. There's holes in the side of the tomb. Sick people reached in because they believed that if they got close to him, it would heal their pain. There has been a choir singing in this cathedral for over 800 years. Obviously that makes sense because it's 800 years old, right here. Continuously. That's tradition. For 800 years. So this room where the Magna Carta is held, one of 4 original copies that still exist, that were given to the Bishop of Salisbury at the time when it was first written and published, and it has remained here in this day. But this building that's called the Chapter House was built as a location for all the priests of the Salisbury Cathedral to come here and meet, and they would sit on these stone seats around the building, and they would meet and discuss things in regards to matters of the church. Perfect timing for the sun to come out. I mean, I deserve some kind of a weather win today. Also, touching 800-year-old stone. Shout out to all the stonemasons that continue to maintain this place and to construct repairs and replacements, and to all the ones that built this beautiful cathedral more than 800 years ago. That. Alright, well that was the Salisbury Cathedral. What a day. Right on time for the sun to come out. As I step back out into the outdoors, I have a little bit of PTSD from all that rain from before, man. I saw a little bit of rain while I was walking around there. I was like, okay, I'm gonna learn about the stonemasonry. Anything to prevent me from walking back out and getting the soles of my shoes reconverted back into puddles. So I like to avoid walking in a pool every now and then. Don't like how those clouds look in the distance. Anyway, I'm gonna go back onto the town, explore a little bit, maybe grab a bite to eat, and just probably head back to the Airbnb in a few hours and just relax for the evening before heading to London tomorrow. Let's do a little bit of town exploration. My last few hours out and about here in Salisbury. You may leave Halifax, but it never leaves you. It's a bank. As is my new tradition for every stop that I make here in the UK, and probably everywhere else moving forward, I gotta get a postcard. I need a Salisbury postcard. Or a magnet. Gotta really populate my fridge. I think it's only right here in the visitor shop here, an information center, I'm gonna sign the visitor's book. Have you had many people come in here from Canada?
We had one earlier today.
Oh, so I'm not even the first one today.
Gentleman. Where did he say he was from? Edmonton.
Edmonton, yeah. So that's on the opposite side,
Okay.
Canada. I've never even
He
been
wanted
there.
to know why there wasn't a senior bus rate for the Stonehenge tour, so I've asked the bus company the question on his behalf.
Maybe he'll
He might be a pioneer.
he might influence some
senior.
change. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Just if you don't mind, for my video here, could you maybe give us a why should people come and visit Salisbury? In your words, why
Yeah.
should they visit?
I just want to let you know that you should really come to Salisbury because it's a medieval city. It has an amazing cathedral. It's only 9 miles from Stonehenge, and there's lots of old buildings to see, beautiful architecture, water meadows, rivers that run through the city, and it's just a fantastic place with friendly people that are looking forward to welcoming you.
In a football club that's going to beat Bath on Saturday and get to the next round of the FA Cup.
Absolutely, that's what we're hoping. If Salisbury Football Club
Let's
do
go.
it this time,
Let's go, Salisbury, and
if
hopefully it
we
doesn't
do
rain.
It will be the furthest we've ever got in the FA Cup because we've only ever got to the third round, which is this round. If we win, we achieve more than we've ever achieved before.
Wow.
In that particular.
I mean, the fourth round for the first time
first
ever.
time for
Wow.
Salisbury.
By the time that people see this video,
lots of
hopefully they'll
people
already be
said
through, and yeah. Wow, we'll have to tune in on the radio.
But even if we don't, we've equalled what our best that we've ever done.
So it's already historical.
Yeah.
So you're already grateful for that, but it would be nice to get
It would.
one step
It would.
further.
So Bath.
And who knows, you could have a huge
We
opponent
might
come
have a
here
bad
as well.
day,
Yeah,
hopefully.
yeah,
Well, I
exactly.
don't know what's going to happen if it's really rainy. Like
Well, it's
whether
true,
it
they
could
might
get-
flourish because they're from Bath.
know.
My handwriting has suffered in recent years due to technology. Address Halifax. What should I write? What is there something that people that support Salisbury FC say? Do they say like,
Come on, you whites.
"Come on, you whites, come on"? You. Oh yeah, that's right. That's on the scarf.
Yeah, and it's and they often just abbreviate it to COYW.
COY. Oh right, yeah. Well, the club that is in my city in Canada, they say "Come on, you Wanderers," and it's COYW. So same thing. I have to support Salisbury. The same acronym. Number one Salisbury FC fan in Nova Scotia as of yesterday. Come on, you Whites, number one Salisbury FC fan in Nova Scotia as of yesterday. That's how they'll remember me in the book over here. Czech Republic, China, Slovakia, Girona, Italy. All right, start from the beginning. Oh, this only goes back to 2 months ago. Belgium, LA. Anyway, I'll make a video if I find someone else from Nova Scotia. Love this place though. My best friends here. Well, that's it for my time in Salisbury. If you are staying here, reach out to Host with Grace. I'll put her Instagram right here on the video. She was the best accommodation for me here in Salisbury. She was fantastic, made me feel very at home. Definitely my favorite place that I've been so far. It just has that like small town vibe. Everyone's really friendly. She gave me a scavenger hunt to explore the city. It just was really helpful for me, especially on during times where you're traveling by yourself, to be able to, connect with people and get to know them a little bit better and talk about your travels and your goals on the trip and get some advice on where not to go. So that was really helpful. So it's more than just to stay. You know, some Airbnbs, stay there, you don't even meet the host, where she was just a fantastic host nonetheless, and she actually operates a lot of the other Airbnb properties here in the city. So if you're staying at an Airbnb in Salisbury, chances are Grace is your host. But yeah, now we're about to head off to the final chapter of this adventure throughout southern England, and we're headed to the capital, London, the grand finale. So join me as we await to get on this train and head into the big city. Tonight I'm going to be attending the premiere in Leicester Square for Mousetrap, which is a movie depicting Mickey Mouse as it's a slasher movie, so Mickey Mouse is the, I guess, antagonist in the movie, and it's directed by my uncle. So that's partially why I'm out here for the last 10 days, obviously to explore, but also to attend this movie premiere. So that's tonight, and then we're attending the Watford match tomorrow. Well, I'm attending the Watford match tomorrow. You can come along with me, and we're gonna see how much we can explore in London in about 2 days. So appreciate you guys tuning in, and now's about time to catch this train. Not this train, 20 minutes, but we'll catch a train that looks like this. Cheers.